Hello and welcome back to another review. Today we are going to be looking at the brand new Waking the Cadaver album, Authority Through Intimidation. So a little bit of background if you don't know who Waking the Cadaver are. They are a extreme metal band from Jersey Shore, and they were formed in 2006 but only put out 3 albums before this one, which was Perverse Recollections of a Necromaniac in 2007, Beyond Cops, Beyond God in 2010, and Real Life Death in 2013. And this is their 4th studio album, which they released this year, around October the 22nd of 2021, under their new record label that they have signed to, Unique Leader Records, which is the same as other bands like Signs of the Swarm and stuff like that. A lot of good, heavier bands are signing to this label nowadays. So, with that being said, the album is about 8 tracks long, I think, and it clocks in at just under 26 minutes. So it's a very short album, but we'll get onto that more in my final thoughts. So the first track is called Civic Assault, and this track clocks in at about 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, and I'm glad that I looked up the lyrics to these songs because as much as I enjoy Waking the Cadaver, because of their nature of being an extreme metal band, there is a lot of unintelligible vocals. It's very similar to that of the slam genre, where the gutturals are very murky, muddy, the pig squeals thrown in there, like the very whistly highs, shit like that. So, like I say, in true Waking the Cadaver fashion, just like all of their old stuff, there's loads of pig squeals thrown in there. They have the odd line in this first song where they go to more of a intelligible guttural. Fuck me. So, like, instead of it being just like gurgled, it's actually they've used their mouth to kind of make the word sound like it's supposed to, which I think, if I remember correctly, in this song was like every other line they did that with, or like the ending of lines or verses before going into the next one. So just the gist of this song, like, so you can get a bit of a feel for the theme. It seems to be based around someone trying to kill what they are referring to in this song as the headman, and making an example of his demise and using his corpse thereafter, the fact, to be a warning to other people to not do what he has done. So overall, this is just a solid, brutal start to the 8-track album, and it sets the pace nicely for what we're going to be delving into a bit better in the next coming tracks. The second song is Corpse Decomposition, which clocks in at 3 minutes and 13. This song starts off with the line, freshly killed, laying still, intact and insect free. Beautiful, stiff and cold, first stage is complete. Which really tells you a lot about this track, I think. And yeah, this song is really just what it says on the tin. It is a lyrical format breakdown of the decomposition of a corpse. And they go through basically, I think it's like the 5 stages of decomposition. And they do end the song with the line, nothing that was said will ever matter when life's stripped away, nothing that was done will be remembered when the corpses decay. So, yeah. Morbid stuff. Just what you want to listen to on your way to work, sort of shit. Don't really have much more to say on that one. There wasn't a great deal to unpack. But we're going to move on to track 3, which is, I believe, the second longest track on the album. And this is Human Chop Shop, which clocks in at just under 4 minutes. 3 minutes 58 to be precise, if you want to be pedantic about it. But yeah. So I want to give a quick shout out to the band and them for the video for this song, which features the deathmatch wrestler and band member of the group Eat the Turnbuckle, Schlack. Because of this music video, I did seek out some of his matches and watch some of the stuff that he does. And this motherfucker is just insane. And I think he was a really good choice to play the, I guess, human chop shop owner, body disposer. I don't know what you would call him. But yeah. With that little bit out of the way, moving on to the song now. This was the second single, I believe, they released off of the album. So I have heard this one before, and it does feature some brutal vocals, which you come to expect from the band. And this one definitely dives a bit deeper into its more grisly lyricism, which, again, the band is predominantly known for their lyrics about death and killing. So yeah, and this one mainly talks about killing people and then disposing their corpses in a manner such that they won't be found again, with some lines like, "In my human chop shop, cadavers are erased, unidentifiable, not a single trace." Or another one that might tickle your fancy is, "Smashing your bones, bashing your skull, ravage the spine, savage decline." Yeah, definitely sets the mood there. And like I said, throughout all of that, in the music video, you've got this big, hulking, tattooed motherfucker just chopping away at fake body parts. There's like blood flying everywhere. It is just an overall visceral display, from the lyricism to the music to the video that they paired it with. Like, really was one of the standout tracks. The next one is Frenzied Vehicular Rampage. And make sure I get that correct. And this one clocks in at 3 minutes 18. And as you may have guessed, this song is about using your vehicle as a tool to cause a clusterfuck of carnage. Aside from visceral lyrics, again, the instrumentation stands out to me more so on this track in particular, and it has a very solid rhythmic beat throughout, and that actually stood out to me more than the lyrics the first listen, so I did have to go through and read the lyrics for myself, listen to the song again, and pair the lyrics with what I was hearing, because I was just more focused on the background instruments and stuff. But yeah. I also never thought I'd see the day that I saw this line in a song: "A morbid spectacle for rubberneckers to see." As I was actually in an Xbox party whilst I was writing down my script for this one, and I read that out loud, and my mate turned around to me and said, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, it says rubberneckers." I was like, "I've never fucking heard anyone use that phrase." And he was like, "Nor have I." That's a fucking obscure thing to use, like, especially to put in a song. But this group are known for using their extravagant words and their big fancy fucking phrases and stuff, so it is to be expected. Moving on, We have the next track, Arbiter of Punishment, which is the longest track on the album and clocks in at just under 5 minutes, or 4 minutes and 57 seconds to be precise. This, I need to be careful with how I worded this one because of the subject matter of the song. So, it seems to be themed around someone having a psychotic break and taking out a religious figure with a propensity for children. That is the best way to describe the theme of the song. Again, just like the vehicular manslaughter track, this has a solid rhythmic beat which does stand out behind the vocals, but it doesn't take your notice away from it on this one. And because of the subject matter, there is only one line I picked out which stood out to me. So I will apologise to anyone watching this if you are a person of religion. This could offend you. I do not mean it to be taken in such a way. I am just quoting the song for the review. So the line that I'm gonna reference here is, quoting scripture as I smash your dome piece, a bullpen hammer is the perfect tool for a pedo priest. Now, when I heard this line, I was kind of like, fuck, okay, now I see why this song and its music video that came with it, because I think this is the third single off of the album. I was like, I can see why this had a warning on the video. Like, I wasn't really expecting that sort of subject nature, but then again, you can never really tell with Waking the Cadaver what the fuck you're gonna get, and this one definitely, overall, it is a good song, but it is not for the faint of heart if you go delving into the lyricism. And it also has some very solid pig squeals, like early Waking the Cadaver style ones, which I really appreciated. Moving on to the last three tracks here now. We have the first single of the album, Threaten the Physical Force, which clocks in at 3 minutes precisely, and literally opens up with a threat of physical force, with the line of, if you run your fucking mouth, then you're dead. And it sounds to me like the song is themed around making a witness to a crime keep quiet, like using the threat of physical violence, otherwise their loved ones will end up resting in peace, basically. Because they do say stuff about, like, you know, bullet in your daughter, your wife hung, stuff like that. But my main line that I want to rip out of the song and feed to your ear holes is, snitches get stitches and I will suture them myself. Loose lips don't sink ships, but they'll get you fucking dealt. Yeah, like I said, there's some interesting lines in this album. And another one that I'm going to just give you an example of is, don't tempt me to use my special set of skills. Now, I won't lie, this had me chuckling, and I literally found myself saying out loud, okay, what are you, Liam Neeson? So, like, you know, it does sound like something straight out of fucking Taken 1. Like, it's brilliant. Moving on, we have the second to last, sorry, just casually flipping you off there. No, second to last song, which is Asphyxiating Ligature, and is 3 minutes and 12 seconds long. Opening up this song, we have the line, I'm at the end of my rope, life seems so clear, noose securely fastened as death's drawing near, kick the chair from under my shaking feet, instantly regretting my heart skips a beat. Which, like I said, as a way to open your song, definitely carries a bit of an oomph, and that just carries on throughout the track and the story that they tell with this song, which basically, the gist that I got was the person that they're singing about, something's happened to them which has taken away like basically everything in their life, and there's one particular person they blame. So they try killing themselves. The beam that they're trying to hang themselves off of breaks and saves their life, which then leads them to the revelation of, well, if I can't die tonight, why can't the person that did this to me die? So they hunt down the person who took what they deem to be everything away from them, and they end their life via hanging, like how they were going to go out originally. And the person that the story is based on just stands there and watches them take their last breath, and finally feels the relief of the person that did them wrong being gone, basically. But they do say at the end of the song that they now have a taste for killing. So, yeah, it's definitely an interesting track. And then, with that, we are brought swiftly on to track 8, the final track, Authoritative Aggressor, which is, I think, the shortest track on the album, clocking in at 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And it's an interesting set of lyrics with this one, because unlike all the others, there's no, like, I'm killing you, I'm doing this because I'm pissed off, fuck you, fuck the world sort of mentality. This is... I don't know how to explain it, so maybe these lyrics will help you understand what I'm trying to say. Hordes of undead mercenaries summoned from their graves to strong-arm the populace into fucking slaves. There's some other lines, like, blasphemous indoctrination, this is just the beginning, and forced labour and death is only their future, all hail the deities of infinite oppression. So, yeah, as you might see from those specific lines that I have pulled out to showcase to you, they're definitely different to the rest of the album, where it's like, gonna cut your tongue off, gonna fuck you up, gonna kill your family. This one's talking about gods and higher powers taking their people they deem lower than themselves and using them as slaves to, like, do their will. Hard labour, working in fields, I think, is mentioned, stuff like that. And it's certainly an interesting track. The lyricism in it definitely doesn't, like, the lyrics in it doesn't fit with the other 7 songs. Like, I feel it's kind of a weird one. Also not sure if I would have closed the track off with this, closed the album off with this track, sorry. Personally, if you wanted a good ending, I would have used Arbiter of Punishment. Like, shocking end, wouldn't have released it as a single, Maybe you could have released it after the fact that the album had dropped, but yeah. With that being said, that is the 8 songs looked at, so let's move on to my final thoughts. Yeah, overall, it's a solid album to serve as their comeback, because, like I said, as I mentioned at the beginning of the review, their last album was, let me just double check my notes. Yeah, the last album was in 2013, so there's been quite a gap between 2013 and 2021 where they've dropped this. So, like I said, it does serve as a decent return to form. Even though it's only 8 tracks long, like I said, it does clock in at, here we go, precisely 25 minutes and 94 seconds, which is relatively short, but considering the style of vocals, it can be forgiven because, you know, you can't be expected to do a 15-track album running in at fucking 64 minutes and 37 seconds whilst you're doing pig squeals, muddy vocals, gutturals and all that shit, because without an instrumental track here or there, or without someone doing clean vocals, which, if that was to be thrown into Waking the Cadaver, I guarantee you all fucking hell would break loose within the extreme metal community. You're going to have to keep your album short and sweet, which this is. Well, maybe not sweet is, yeah, that may not be the word to choose, but yeah. So, personally, I wasn't sure what to rate the album, because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect. But I didn't think it deserved a 5 for just being meh, because meh is kind of reserved for, it's good, but I probably won't listen to it again sort of thing. Whereas this definitely has tracks I will revisit. If not the whole album, I'll revisit at some point. So, with that being said, I currently have this situated as a 6.5 out of 10. It is a decent return to form. There is really good lyricism. There is really good guitar work, drum work. You know, it feels like it belongs in the discography, but, you know, like I said, I suppose we can't expect perfection straight away. Like I said, they have been away for a long time. 2013 was their last album. 2021 is when this dropped. So, that being said, if they're going to stick around, I would be interested to see what they drop next. When they drop next. How long are they going to leave between album cycles? Because I know most bands do 2 years, 3 at the most. So, I hope we don't have to wait another, what was it, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Another 8-year cycle? That would be fucking ridiculous. Nah, I don't think we'll be waiting that long. It feels like the passion's back. It feels like the metal community has welcomed them back with pretty strong reception. So, I do think we'll expect to see another album within the coming years. But like I said, that being said, this album was a 6.5 out of 10. My standout tracks were Arbiter of Punishment, Human Chop Shop, and Frenzied Vehicular Rampage. Normally I would go for 4, but with this being such a short album, I'm going to do 3. And moving on to that, the next album, my friend chose at random, because I had 16 albums I want to review, with this being included. So I said to him, pick a number between 1 and 15. He chose a number, he picked our next album. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this album review, Waking the Cadaver. Go check it out. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you in the next video, where you can be expecting the Spirit Box Eternal Blue first listen of their debut album. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a long one because it's longer than this album, and I feel like I'm going to have a lot to say. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe. If you've got anyone that's interested in Waking the Cadaver, maybe share this to them if you think it was a good video. I don't know. I can't force you to do stuff. Unlike these guys, I'm not going to threaten you with physical violence. And I will see you fuckers in the next video.